You've met your vesting period for employee stocks. Great. Now you're rich enough to quit your job and go live on a beach in the Bahamas, right? I'm Toffler, your financial well-being coach, helping women grow their money while making a positive difference. You likely fall into one or the other camp. You've been granted shares in a publicly traded company, or you have stock options that you need to pay to execute in a privately held company. If you're in camp one, you own a piece of the company you work for, and you are an investor in the stock market. As an investor in the stock market, you have the right to sell your shares freely. There are a number of factors to consider before you sell everything and take the cash and run, or leave everything there and forget about it. Number 1, taxes. Number 2, diversification. Number 3, do you believe the share price will go up or down? Number 4, what will you do with the proceeds? That is, the cash you receive from selling. Spend it, reinvest it in something else, if so what? All of these are important considerations before making any big decisions, and each could be their own video. On to Camp 2. You now have stock options for a privately held company. Again, notice I said options. Unless you're very concerned about tax implications with a looming liquidity event and you know what that means, your best bet at this moment is to do nothing. Why? Because not only do you have to pay to turn your options into shares, you'd be buying shares that cannot be sold. Because the company is private, there's generally no one willing to buy the shares, in part because the price is pure speculation. So you'd need to wait for the company to get acquired or become publicly traded. Because of this, wait and see is your best approach while you're still working at the company, and you have really no reason to execute your options. If you leave the company, then you normally have a window in which you can buy your shares. Before jumping without looking, assuming you can come up with the cash needed, keep in mind that 75% of businesses fail within 15 years. So probability tells us that most likely your company won't get acquired and any money you spent to buy your shares will go to zero. Of course, if you have knowledge otherwise, or you are a big risk taker with cash to spend, you might decide to jump in. Certainly, there are a lot more considerations, but this video is already getting pretty long. Stay tuned for the next one where I talk about payouts. In the meantime, leave a comment. What questions do you still have about employee stocks?